All right, everybody, welcome back. Today, we're going to dive into something pretty huge that's happening over in Ukraine.
Yeah, it's big.
So I'm sure most of you all have heard about Ukraine needing more fighter jets and how that's a big part of their.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's been a major point of discussion for a while.
It's a big deal, right? Like they need those planes to hold off Russia. And
Yeah, their Air Force is really getting stretched thin against the Russian Air Force and, drones and missiles and everything else.
right, exactly. And so France stepped up and said, hey, we're going to give you guys some Mirage 2000s. But here's the thing.
It's more than just some jets, right?
Exactly. It's not just some old hand-me-downs.
Mm.
This is where it gets interesting. There's a lot more to this story than meets the eye. So today we're going to break it all down and see what this really means for Ukraine's defense and what it could tell us about what might happen next in this war.
Yeah, I think that's key. We got to look beyond the headlines and dig into what these jets can actually do.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to look at some reporting from Avions Legendaires, which is a pretty solid source for this kind of stuff. They're saying the first batch of these jets, specifically the Mirage 2005s, could be in Ukraine like super soon by January 20th.
Wow, that's just around the corner.
Yeah, right. So 2005Fs, what's so special about that specific type?
Well, the NAF-5F tells us these are multi-role fighters.
Multi-role, okay.
Meaning they're not just good for dogfighting with other jets, which, let's be honest, is important.
Well, yeah, you got to be able to go up against those Russian planes.
Absolutely. But these can also do ground attack missions. So we're talking hitting tanks, artillery, supply lines, you name it.
Oh, wow. So they're like a real Swiss Army knife out there, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And that versatility is going to be critical in a conflict like what's going on in Ukraine right now.
Yeah, because things change so quickly on the ground over there.
Absolutely. One day the front line is here, the next day it's over there.
Yeah, it's super fluid. And so having a jet that can handle all these different missions is going to be huge for them. But here's another twist, right? These jets were decommissioned by the French Air Force, and then they went and modified them, right? Why not just give them the planes as is?
That's the really interesting part. I mean, it shows just how committed France is to helping Ukraine out here.
Right.
Modifying those decommissioned jets means they're basically tailor-making them to fit Ukraine's needs specifically.
Good. So it's like they're getting a custom suit instead of something off the rack.
Exactly. Think of it this way. Imagine you're upgrading a computer. You're not just swapping out the case, right? You're getting upgraded hardware, new software, all designed to run the exact programs you need.
Makes sense?
That's what's probably happening here with these jets.
So maybe new weapon systems, a new radar, avionics, stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. It could be a complete overhaul.
And our source mentioned something about more complex tasks.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that could mean?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It could mean these jets are being prepped to handle electronic warfare.
Oh, wow.
Jamming enemy radar, maybe taking down their air defenses.
So they're taking an already pretty capable aircraft and turning it into a super specialized tool.
Exactly. A tool that's designed to give Ukraine an edge in this very specific fight.
Yeah, wow, that's pretty incredible. Now, there's also this rumor floating around that some of these Mirages might already be in Ukraine, maybe being used for training Ukrainian pilots. Is that even possible? I mean, logistically.
It's definitely possible, though we don't have confirmation yet. If it's true, though, it means they're running a super tight ship on this whole operation.
Yeah, because that's a lot of moving parts, right?
Totally. It means they're keeping things very quiet, and it also means that Ukrainian pilots could already have a head start on learning how to fly these jets.
That's got to be huge in a conflict like this, right?
Absolutely. The faster they can get up to speed, the sooner they can use these jets effectively on the battlefield.
Right. And if we look back at how this all unfolded, it seems like things are moving really fast. Macron kind of tossed out the idea of sending Mirage jets back in June of 24, and then we heard about the souped-up version, and now they might be in Ukraine already, and we're looking at a delivery in early 25.
That's a pretty tight timeline.
Yeah. And Zelensky's been saying that France is speeding up the process, right?
Exactly. That urgency really underscores how serious the situation is.
It's definitely not business as usual, that's for sure.
No, not at all.
So just to be clear for everyone, these aren't just some old jets France is sending over, right?
Yeah.
They're customized, upgraded, potentially already being used in training, which shows how much France is willing to invest in Ukraine's defense.
100%. They're
Right.
not just giving them the tools, they're giving them the right tools for the job.
Exactly. But now comes the big question, right? What's the real impact of these Mirages going to be on the battlefield? I mean, will they really change the game, or is it going to be more of a subtle but important advantage for Ukraine?
That's what everyone wants to know, right? Some experts are saying these jets could completely shift the balance of air power.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, they think they could give Ukraine a real edge over the Russians, but others think it'll be more subtle, still crucial, but maybe not immediately obvious.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out,
Yeah.
especially as Russia figures out how they're going to react to all of
Oh,
this.
yeah, for sure. What are they going to do? How are they going to adapt?
Right, because Russia's not just going to sit back and watch all of this happen.
Right.
They're going to try to counter it somehow. And this whole thing also makes you think about, the big picture. Like, what does it mean when countries start sending more and more powerful weapons to Ukraine? Does that escalate things? What are the long-term consequences?
It's a really complex situation with a lot of layers, and we're going to have to wait and see how this all plays out.
Absolutely. But one thing's for sure. This is a huge development. And the arrival of these Mirage jets is going to have a ripple effect throughout this whole conflict. We'll definitely be keeping a close eye on this and see what happens next.
Yeah, it's one to watch, for sure.
All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
See you later.